Friday afternoon showdown north of the border between two teams looking to end the day north of the playoff line as Toronto FC 2 and the Richmond Kickers meet for the first time this season. From BMO Training Ground in Toronto, Ontario, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad you decided to start your weekend with some League One action, and every game is crucial from here on out with the league table as crowded as it is at the moment. 6th place versus 7th place today. There's that imaginary line between the two teams, Toronto and Richmond. They're tied with 20 points. Richmond has a game in hand, but they want to be above 6. That's the playoff line, and look at all those teams there. 20, 20, 20, 19, 19. It's so tight in League One. A massive matchup today between Toronto and Richmond. And for Toronto, for them to take that step, it has to start with some more goal scoring. 3 of the last 4 games, they've been shut out. Their last 6 goals as a team, they've been scored by just 2 players. That's Antonio Carlini, Garrett McLaughlin. And 4 of those goals came in just 1 game against North Carolina, an offensive explosion. Head coach Mike Munoz feels the chances are there. They've lacked the clinical finish, and he wants things to pick up a little bit more in the midfield. Dante Campbell has been a spark, but he wants to see more from the likes of Stephen Yates, Kosi Thompson, and Antonio Carlini as they try to create going forward for a Toronto team that wants to stay above the playoff line. And it's going to be tough against a hot Richmond team. They just turned that corner very recently. A tough game against Tormented. They were down 2-0. They tied it and got the point on the road. From that point on, Darren Sawatzky feels this team flipped the switch. In their last 5 games, they've taken points from 4 of them, 2 wins, 2 draws, and just 1 loss. Everything going right now in Richmond's direction. The same could be said for them, though, as it is for Toronto. It comes down to goal scoring. Emiliano Terzaghi, he leads the way, but they do move the ball very well. 12 of their 16 goals from the run of play have an assist on them. That's the highest percentage in the league. Can they continue that offensive success today? We've seen an odd uptick in ties around the league, but if either team could pick up 3 points today, it would go a long way in creating some separation. 6th place Toronto, 7th place Richmond. Lineups and kick next on ESPN+. Officials, players heading out to the field on BMO Training Ground in Toronto, Ontario, as we're just about set to kick things off between 6th place Toronto and 7th place Richmond. A look at the lineups for both of these squads, starting with the home Toronto squad. Not much has changed for them. The only difference is Jaden Nelson comes into the starting lineup. That's a key piece here for Toronto. He's got 3 goals in very limited time this year, so that could provide the spark. Next to Garrett McLaughlin and Antonio Carlini, who have the last 6 goals for Toronto, looking for some help up top. And they're going up against a Darren Sawatzky-led Richmond team. And Darren Sawatzky had some thoughts about Toronto and about Richmond State right now in the league.
We figured out who we are in terms of character. We got to add a little bit more quality to what we do. We can't gut out games the way we did this last game. We got to play a little bit better soccer, but that's something that happens over time. You know, the analogy of the stair step, you know, as long as we get to step 4, as long as we don't go back to 3 and continue to 5, we'll be on our way. Very good team, young team, but most of the guys in that team have good pro experience. The academy director there is very good. Danny Deco, the assistant's a close friend of mine. Mike Munoz, friend of mine. They're guys who run this team. They do a very good job in Toronto. They'll be a hard team to beat.
Plenty of mutual respect there. This is the lineup for the Richmond Kickers. Missing some of the usual suspects, didn't make the trip, but still a lot of regular faces out there. Ineos and Alves will have to drive things forward without Emiliano Terzaghi, but on the back line, some of the constants still there. Monticelli, Chrysler in the middle, and as ever, Akira Fitzgerald, one of the top goalkeepers historically here in League One, the backstop for the Richmond Kickers. Caleb Patterson-Sewell, a veteran goalkeeper for for Toronto. But the goalkeepers in this one, it's a battle of the two goalkeepers who double as goalkeeper coaches in this league. Fitzgerald, the veteran for the Kickers. Patterson-Sewell, the veteran for Toronto. Scott Bowman, the official. Richmond in the all-black, Toronto in the all-red. Ready to get things going from BMO Training Ground. Playoff spot on the line. 6th place Toronto, 7th place Richmond. Looking to end the day above the playoff line here north of the border. It's Toronto and Richmond. Early slip on the turf from Chris Cole and a handball. The turf will come into play. It's a very slick, quick surface. Very windy day as well. That is typical here at BMO Training Ground. You won't see many buildings or trees around. The wind just comes down through and whips for the entirety of the match. It was Toronto's first game on the surface last week as well. But they at least were able to grow accustomed to it in training over the last 10 to 14 days. Richmond, though, testing out the surface for the first time. We saw Greenville last week open up a little bit more than we've typically seen them early on, using the pitch and the slickness to their advantage, playing some more long balls through, playing fast as the surface plays fast. Donnie dispossessed. Nelson pokes it through. McLaughlin to Franklin. Franklin found himself on Team of the Week not too long ago. Thompson, overlap from Franklin, goes that way. Jonathan Bolaños makes the play and carries it past 2 defenders, but couldn't get past the third. Together. Good. The Richmond players going in all black like Darren Sawatsky typically does. And Sawatsky hopes this team can really start hitting their stride. Now, we're at the point in the season where teams have played 15, 16 games. That's how many games they played all of last season, of course, in the shortened season. Richmond started to run out of steam down the stretch. They fell out of the top 2 spots, and they had a chance on the last day to make it into the title game. But not by any means are they running out of steam at the juncture of the season this time around. If anything, they're picking up steam. Dante Campbell drops deep. He's been a spark in the midfield. Mike Munoz very happy with the way he has turned things around. I mentioned that Campbell is really at a fork in the road in his career here. Can he finally earn a spot on the MLS squad for Toronto? The way he's played lately, that might be on the horizon. He earned that starting role a couple games ago. Hasn't given it up. Mike Munoz very, very happy with what he has provided in that central midfield. It's been the weak link for Toronto, but Campbell has stabilized it, and his teammates have fed off of him. They have risen their game to match Dante Campbell. Chance here on the set piece as McLaughlin draws the foul. Goals on the season for Toronto. It's middle of the pack, but it's been a struggle lately. Shut out in 3 of the last 4 games. Franklin whips it in, and it's dealt with. Carlini keeps it alive. 3/8. Franklin. Thompson working on Cole and taken away. Chris Cole at left back for Richmond. He was signed midway through the season as a practice player, as a trialist. Thought to be maybe a backup, and he has taken this starting role and run with it as the spot opened up due to injuries. Richmond 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their last 5 games. They don't have the tiebreaker at the moment on Toronto, but they do have a game in hand entering the day with Toronto in 6th and Richmond in 7th. But with how tight this table is, all it takes is a game or 2 here or there. If you can string together 7 points in a span of 3 games or something of the sort, all of a sudden, you're at a totally different level in the standings. Just ask New England Revolution. They've won 3 of their last 4 games, and all of a sudden they're in 4th place within striking distance of the top 2, let alone the playoff line. Just 1 goal for each of these sides in the first quarter hour of matches. Teams that really like to ease into the game. Richmond will sit back. They'll pick their moment to start pressing. Toronto, patient in the build. As you've seen for the better part of the first 6 minutes, they'll swing it around. They're patient. They're not going to force anything forward. Over the top for Thompson. Franklin showing as an option back. Yates. Franklin. Nelson didn't know the man was behind him. Awney takes it away. Spent last season with Union Omaha. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL League One and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com. McLaughlin, the team leader with 8 goals. Wide again for Thompson. Going directly at Cole. All the way across towards McLaughlin, all the way through. Nelson at the corner flag. Cole there again to defend. Space for Thompson in the box. Cuts it back. The shot is headed away. Monticelli did not let it get through to Fitzgerald. Another set piece coming for Toronto. Awney commits the foul. possession nearly 80-20 here in the opening 10 minutes. One-way traffic in Toronto's favor. Another look at that chance. In from Campbell. Not known for his offensive prowess, but a chance was there. And Oni sets up the set piece with that foul. Campbell flicks it, looking for Yates. Richmond coming off a very hard-fought 1-0 win over Tucson. Emiliano Terzaghi from the penalty mark gave them that 1-0 win. Toronto last week, same time, same place against Greenville. Went a man up nearly 40 minutes into it, but could not produce a goal. A 0-0 draw against Greenville. In fairness to Toronto, Greenville is a team that has surprisingly played very well this year when they've gone down a man. 3 times in a game this year, Greenville's gone down to 10 men. They have 2 wins and a draw. John Hark's squad just bunkers down, keeps that defensive shape, able to produce results, whether it's 10 men or 11 men. Nelson slips through, looking for McLaughlin. Bolaños flies in to take it away from Yates. And now space for Bolaños, closed down by Campbell. There he is again, flashing in the midfield. That's what Mike Munoz talked about. Anytime that an opposing central midfielder gets the ball, Campbell's there within seconds. It was a great matchup a couple of weeks ago when Campbell got his first start. It came against New England Revolution with Jake Rosansky. Rosansky, one of the league leaders in assists, in touches and passes, but he really struggled whenever Campbell was in that direction. Kurich out to Petrasso. Pardon me, Carlini. Petrasso makes the overlap. Thompson speeding past Cole, a tug of the jersey. Thompson still with it, and a corner is won. The corner tally reached double digits last week for Toronto. They weren't able to do much with them. The wind is certainly a factor, depending on which way it's blowing. Not easy to get the delivery in from the corner flag. It's blowing right in the face of Kobe Franklin. Drives the ball in, and it's headed away. Kosi Thompson was streaking to the near post. Aaron Sawatsky, one of the things he's maintained anytime we've had a chance to chat since he's come over to the Richmond Kickers, he's not at any time looking to play for a tie. Ties happen, but he's not going to go on the road in a tough matchup like this, players missing, and look for the point. He is going for the 3, even if it means sitting back and countering. That certainly seems to be the game plan at the moment. 85% of the possession a dozen minutes into this going Toronto's way. The question becomes, how effective can that Richmond counter be without some of their big guns, especially Emiliano Terzaghi? No Olex Anderson either. August is USL Supporters Month, and we want to hear from you. Visit USLLeague1.com/supporters-month for more information on how you can get involved and have a chance to be featured as the supporter of the week. Long ball, searching for Petrasso. Cleared by Chrysler. McLaughlin back to goal, heavy touch, plays the way he's facing but gives it away. One right back though by Carlini. Carlini and Yates, two players Mike Munoz felt have raised their game in the midfield ever since Dante Campbell has slotted in as a starter. Franklin, a lot of contact there again from Bolaños. Wonder if the card might have come out of the pocket there. It's a couple of times that the direction and attention of the official, Scott Bowman, has been directed that way. Petrasso swings it in, backside of the box, still alive. Falls, Petrasso nods it out into space. Long run for Franklin to keep it in. He does. Can he do it a second time? No. Out for a goal kick. Quarter hour gone. Toronto, Richmond, north of the border, BMO Training Ground in Toronto, Ontario. Joe Malfa here with you for this Friday action in USL League One. Near identical records for these two teams, 5-5-5 for Richmond, 5-6-5 for Toronto. The Canadian side sits above the playoff line in 6th place. Richmond just below it in 7th. First time they're meeting since 2019. McLaughlin. Nelson shielded away by Cole. Statistically, these teams pretty even across the board as well. They both conceded 19 goals. Toronto scored 20, Richmond scored 19. Their shots per game, both right around 10. All the way across the board. Own goal! Oh no! Hands on the head. Juan Pablo Monticelli seemed to have a calm clearance, and it ends up behind Fitzgerald out of nowhere. Toronto takes a lead. Wondered who might step up outside of McLaughlin or Carlini, who have combined for the last 6 goals. Well, a player on the opposing team helps out for Toronto here. Nobody around Monticelli. And just disastrous for Richmond. Monticelli as a defender has a couple of goals for Richmond this year. He's found the net a couple of times, but the wrong one that time. And now Richmond's going to have to open up a little bit. They were just sitting back, bending, not breaking, waiting to strike on a counter. Now they'll have to change things a bit. 80% of the possession in the first quarter hour went Toronto's way. Probably not how they thought it would come, but they get the goal to show for it as well. Franklin looking to add to it for Toronto. Right back on the front foot, setting up their shape. Between Petrasso on the left and Thompson and Franklin on the right, this team likes to send in a lot of crosses, Toronto. That's what their offense is predicated on. You start sending that many balls into the box, just get things towards the goal, good things happen. Curate shown a yellow. Rather, Carlini shown the yellow card. Bolaños didn't keep it in at the end line. Goal kick. Pardon me, had it right the first time. It was Kurich who picked up the yellow. Foul away from the ball. Oni. That attack seemed like it might have been promising there with Vignals playing it into space. Yates to Franklin. Nelson taken down. Another set piece opportunity for Toronto. All right, housekeeping here. Let's get this straight. So Kurich committed the foul. It was Carlini who got the yellow right there for knocking the ball away. So scratch that. No Kurich yellow. It goes for Carlini. Franklin and Petrasso again stand over the free kick. Last time it was Petrasso. This time also Petrasso sends it in. Fitzgerald's there. Over the top, long ball to Oni. Chance out of nowhere. Patterson Sewell, confident off his line, the veteran keeper. That's how Richmond plays. It's a direct style. But no Terzaghi to get on the end of it this time around here north of the border. It'll have to come from somebody else. Richmond has battled back in games before. The game that Darren Sawatsky points to as what helped turn things around. Tormenta a couple of weeks ago, down 2-0, 62nd minute. They respond a minute later to make it 2-1. End up tying it in the end and taking a point. So no strangers to battling back. But again, just without their typical personnel, you wonder if they'll have it in them today. Shouts for handball, top of the box, as McLaughlin tried to play a little give and go with Petrasso. Nelson takes it away, the shot just wide. Nelson provides such a spark offensively. He hasn't been around much. He spent time with the MLS squad on the bench, making his 6th start of the season tonight. 3 goals and 1 assist in the 5 games he's played. It's a pretty good return. And those goals and assists have come at some big moments as well. Assisted a game winner late against Tormenta, scored a tie-in goal late against Fort Lauderdale. So the appearances have been few and far between for Nelson with just 5, but the impact has been immense.
Take your time. Chris, when we come back, remind Luke
toss. Falk couldn't do anything with it. Overlap from Cole, gets it from Bolaños. Sends it on the ground through, laid off. Viñals powers through, taken down, penalty. A lifeline for Richmond. It's been one-way traffic, 80% of the possession Toronto's way. Only one shot so far for Richmond, but now from the mark, they will have a chance to level. Question is who takes it? We've seen Emiliano Terzaghi put penalties away time and again for Richmond last year and this year. Viñals will step up. He drew it, he'll take it. Viñals with 1 goal this season. Patterson Sewell's made 29 saves in all. Viñals steps up, we're level again. Own goal at one end, penalty at the other. Erase the last 25 minutes. Level again. Second goal of the season for Viñals. Someone needed to step up in Terzaghi's absence. Viñals gets it done. The 24-year-old from Barcelona. Spent the last couple of years with Tormenta. Comes over now to Richmond, making an impact. He's been the player of the week once already this season. This field has a history of producing a lot of goals. Back in 2019, of all the fields in League One, this one had the most total goals scored on it. We thought we might be reintroduced to that last week. A 0-0 draw, though, between Toronto and Greenville. Making up for it already, 25 minutes in, and in some quirky ways. Own goal, one end, penalty at the other end. Last week we took a stroll down memory lane with some of the occurrences on this field back in 2019, and there were some quirky ones. We had the quickest hat trick ever, Ronaldo Damas, inside of 30 minutes. In that same game, the largest comeback ever in League One history. It ended up tied 3-3. Strange things happen at BMO Training Ground. Petrasso. Yates has options. Wide for Franklin. Bolaños steps in. Franklin turns the corner. Centered towards Nelson. Falk got ahead to it. Yates cleans it up. Carlini chips it in. Nelson's first touch. Takes him to the end line. Nearly a half an hour gone. Carlini, head up, cuts it through to Petrasso. Turning through defenders, Petrasso couldn't get past the third. Luke Pavone steps in to clear it. Carlini again, turns, Yates, there. Feeds it across for Thompson. Thompson gets through on his left foot, trying to find a lane. Nelson gives it back to Thompson. Heavy touch takes it away from him.
Good boys, keep it! Keep it!
Nelson chests it down. Nelson to the end line, still with it, gets it all the way across. past the first defender there, Cole.
Stanley, stand! Stand!
Politz, the captain.
Pick up!
Thompson, the own goal came on a cross of his. This one blocked out for a corner. Kosi Thompson, 18 years old, joined Toronto Academy in 2015 at the age of 12. He's been in the fold quite often this season for the Young Reds. 16 appearances, 9 starts now for Kosi Thompson. Won't get credit for the goal, but it was his cross that yielded the own goal from Juan Pablo Monticelli. Franklin's corner over everybody. The wind is whipping as always here. Probably took it a bit. Carlini's shot took a deflection on the way in.
Relax, get your shape. Together, come on, Jono. Stay on your feet.
The flow of the game still very much going Toronto's way, as it has been in the majority of their games this season. The question continues to be from Mike Munoz, who can step up and score a goal. Shut out 3 of the last 4 games. Carlini and McLaughlin still have the last 6 goals for the team. 4 of them came in the one game against North Carolina. The chance creation is there. The finishing has not been. There's no chance to create here as Thompson pleads his case.
Hey guys, come get
It's a
him
goal
out of here.
kick, but first a hydration break.
Come here.
Mike Munoz has to be happy with the start from Toronto. The only mistake on that one counterattack, taking down Vignals, conceding the penalty.
I can't tell you the Fahrenheit, sorry guys.
Aaron Sawatsky, though, has a lot more to talk over with Richmond. They've got to be happy to be where they are, 1-1. This field has been tilted one way. 80% of the possession has gone Toronto's way. And let's take a look at those first 2 goals of this one. It's been a wacky one so far. 16th minute. Franklin feeds it out to Thompson out wide. Not anything going on here, just Monticelli trying to clear it. The closest red jersey was McLaughlin, a few yards behind Monticelli. Nobody clouding his vision. Sails back into his own net. 25th minute here. Laid off for Vignals. Yates puts the foot in. Their feet get tangled. Easy decision to point to the mark for Bowman. And then Vignals calmly tucks it in the side netting. Such a well-taken penalty. Patterson Sewell dives the wrong way anyway. But an own goal and a PK.
It's just that shifting earlier. Come on. The game.
Let's go, boys, let's go.
Honey, let's go, kid. Honey, if you and Stanley need to swap up every
Mike Munoz knows the opportunity this team has at hand. For all the trials of the early parts of the season, with all the travel, they got through that, navigated their way back to Toronto, above the playoff line. With 8 games to be played on this field, a home field advantage of knowledge of the pitch. They know they have a very good chance, not only making the playoffs, but possibly hosting a playoff game. They have to start taking their chances to earn the points. Up a man for 50 minutes last week against Greenville, tied 0-0. Controlling this game with Richmond missing 5 key players who did not travel with the team. It's 1-1. Over the top. Sent in the box. Vignoles saved by Sewell. And a chance to double his tally.
Don't let him out now. Pin him. Pin him. Pin him.
Back to Patterson Sewell, who made a few big saves last week against Greenville. Nelson applies the pressure, nearly takes it away from Monticelli. That's how Richmond gets it done. They picked their moment on a counter. Great ball put in. Vignoles shakes free. Nearly had his second. Toronto rotates goalkeepers between Vikela and Patterson Sewell. It's Patterson Sewell's turn today. Thompson takes it away. Heavy touch, but keeps it alive to Yates. Thompson. Two defenders close in. Carlini there for support. Kurich lobs it through. Franklin started to make the run, never finished it. Take it back to that last chance for Richmond. Ball was floated in, and Vignoles had no defenders around him. His body was taking him one way. Patterson Sewell reached a hand out, made the stop. Franklin taken down, no call made.
Come on, Neil, talk now. Play now.
Alves
Play.
had a chance to go quickly, pulls it back slowly instead.
Tight. Johnny. Do it.
Vignoles is looking through to Alves, deflected behind him.
Keep working, boys. Alert.
Kurich finds Nelson. Oh, looked like he was going to. Nelson cut in at the last moment. The USL on ESPN returns to ESPN Deportes when two playoff hopefuls meet for the first time. Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC invade the birthplace of rock and roll to take on Memphis 901 FC Tuesday, August 10th, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Deportes.
Ready, talk.
Now it's to Nelson, who's floated out to that left side. Spent much of the early portion of this game centrally or on the right. Switch to Franklin.
Don't get split. Yes. Tight. Tight. Tony, talk to him.
Vignoles, a little nutmeg there to Campbell. And Franklin there to gather.
Go, Luca.
Franklin, not enough on it to get it to Campbell. Second game of the week in League One. New England a 3-0 win last night against North Carolina. More on that at halftime. Richmond struggling to get the ball across midfield. Toronto again settling into their possession. That number has stayed near 80% for the entirety of this game. Thompson, slight deflection there. Nelson lays it off. The shot from distance goes into the distance. It was Yates who got under it. The middle third of each half has been where Toronto has leaked a bit on the back end. Coming into this game, 19 goals conceded on the season. 11 of the 19 have been in the middle third of each half. 16th to 30th minute, or the 61st to the 75th. Pavone, heavy touch, draws the contact. No foul call, just out for a goal kick.
You're watching what we're watching, right? After he played the ball.
Over there. Thank you.
Thank goodness we had a water break. Played the ball right through him. It's a foul. You're watching the same game we are.
Pavone still slow to get up. Tried initially, went back to the ground. Just 4 appearances last season. Sixth start this year, 14th appearance overall. Forced into a role at right back. The injuries have not allowed Darren Sawatsky to play the back line he was hoping to play last year. Injuries to Antley, to Dubose. That is what has put Cole and Pavone into those starting roles at outside back on either side. But Pavone hobbles and carries on. Top right corner of your screen, still gingerly jogging it off. Campbell times the run. Cuts it inside. McLaughlin turning. McLaughlin trying to find it between his feet. Defended well by Victor Falk. That foul goes against Kurich. This Richmond team has a lot of fight. We've seen it on display last year, this year.
Monty, Johnny Belando, no fan.
Go down early. On just a very poor accidental mistake on the backside from Monticelli. Missing as many players as they are today. They battle back, level things. Had a golden opportunity to go up 2-1 just a few minutes after that. Robbed by Caleb Patterson-Sewell. They go forward again. Cut back. Alves, heavy touch. Matthew Bolduc orchestrated that attack down the right side. Now it's Bolaños on the left. Cole right into Thompson. Cole's long toss, he was a couple of feet into the line. No harm, no foul in the end. We don't see foul throws called often at any level professionally. That time probably deserved it. Just over a minute to go in the half, waiting official word on stoppage time. We did have the hydration break. We had the penalty kick.
Very good. Good. Excellent. Excellent. Keep working. Awesome work. Awesome. They didn't have anyone else.
Paulitz carries. Franklin. Very active on this right side. Franklin inside to Yates. We'll try the left side now with Curich. Petrasso cuts in. Lays it off. McLaughlin turns out to Nelson. Good build here from Toronto. Campbell. Back to Nelson. Red jerseys committed forward. There are 3 guys in the box, but no chance to get a cross in. 2 minutes of added time here in the first half. Throw coming for the Young Reds.
Tune in.
Yates gives it away. That ball just skied by Oni. Yates wins it back. Carlini misplays it. McLaughlin taken down. No call.
Ani.
Long toss from Cole. Matthew Baldock couldn't get a touch to it. At least a positive one. They'll retake that goal kick. Ball was still in motion once the official notices it.
Alert.
Similar situation to last week for Toronto. They've controlled the tempo of the game. Everything's gone their way. Just a couple of counters for Richmond. Once yielded a penalty and a goal as a result. The other time, Caleb Patterson-Sewell came up with a massive stop from point-blank range on Neil Vignals. Can they find the answer, though, this time around after drawing 0-0 last week against Greenville? Now, Darren Sawatsky, again, of course, insists he never plays for a draw. But you wonder, seeing what John Hark's squad did last week, if Richmond just continues to play like this, bend, don't break defensively, see if you could pluck a counter and get the 3 points, but be happy with 1 point leaving Canada, considering all the players missing or the kickers. Whistle blows to end half number 1. Level, 1 goal apiece. A lot of craziness early on. The own goal in the 16th minute against Monticelli put Toronto ahead, but then Neil Vignals from the penalty spot in the 25th minute. He drew the foul, he converted the penalty, and we're level at 1 goal apiece going into the break. 6th place, Toronto. 7th place, Richmond, entering the day. As it stands, a draw would see them both above the playoff line, but these teams want 3 points to create some separation in the middle of a very crowded table. 45 more minutes to decide it. We'll be back in just a moment right here on ESPN+. Halftime between Toronto FC and the Richmond Kickers. And while most coaches will try to sell you on the fact that it's all soccer all the time, it really isn't. Darren Sawatsky, as much of a soccer guy as he is, got to have some fun at some point. Went cross town to the diamond throughout the first pitch at a Richmond Flying Squirrels game this past week. And last summer, while everybody was waiting to play, Todd Parnell, the GM of the Flying Squirrels, exchanged some tweets back and forth with Sawatsky, each showcasing their jersey collection. So it was great to see this come to fruition this past week as the Richmond teams interact. Now, notice we're showing you stills. That leaves me a little suspicious if there's no video of where this pitch ended up from Darren Sawatsky. So, I'll let him think it was a strike. Probably ended up being a 55-footer. But you know what's better than the pitch probably was? This going on after the game, actually partly during the game, starting at 5:30 at City Stadium. They had this happy hour with some live music. My producer, Ryan Rose, spent a lot of time in Richmond. He can vouch for all of these places. It's a great place to be once this game ends. Live music 6 to 9 p.m. Friday happy hour for the Richmond Kickers at City Stadium. And after you enjoy some of that time at City Stadium, you can start studying up on some of the other teams around League One. This past week was a big week for North Carolina. It started really well, a 3-2 win over Fort Lauderdale. JT Camara has been in the thick of things in the race for the league lead in assists, but on the receiving end of this one, gets the goal in the 5th minute. Edison Ascona didn't take long to level things just 6 minutes later from Noah Allen. Now remember the name Robbie Christo, recent player of the week in League One. Scored a brace in a 4-0 win over Richmond. Yeah, that guy. He's at it again. North Carolina would draw a penalty here, 29th minute. And Christo, continuing that form, would put North Carolina on top. Keeper guesses the right way, but perfectly placed. It would be tied, 79th minute. Modesto Mendez lashes onto a pass from Dyron Reyes from the corner. 2-2. Fort Lauderdale has given up and scored a lot of late goals. It told you to remember Christo. Lightning strikes twice for Fort Lauderdale, and no, not a reference to the weather that came through the area before kickoff. It's Christo from the spot again, netting a brace in consecutive games. And North Carolina, they're slowly getting back into the race here, not too far back of the pack. That stopped a little bit, though, on Thursday night, prime time at Gillette Stadium. No Tom Brady involved this time, just Tico Rivera putting New England Revolution 2 up on top early in the 33rd minute. And the table's so crowded, you string a couple wins together, all of a sudden you're in great shape. New England had won 2 of the last 3 coming into this one. They make it 3 wins in their last 4. Edward Kizza has been waiting to break out. Clint P.A. wants to see it from him, and tonight was the night he broke out. He scored here in the 49th minute from Colby Quinones, and then the 74th minute, brilliant bit of individual play as he holds the run. Hikaru Fujiwara finds the feed up towards Kizza, and Kizza does the rest. Look at him holding the line. And then he does the rest himself. A 3-0 win for New England. They are now in 4th place with 22 points. 2 points clear the playoff line. Only 3 behind 2nd place. Clint P.A. very happy. We take a look around the rest of League One in just a moment.
Hey, everybody. Scott Stewart here from USL. Proud to be joined by Puma's John Miller here for an interview. What initially attracted you to the league, and what are your thoughts on the partnership so far?
For us, the mutual experience of offering access to the sport to numerous marketplaces across North America is really what grew us. And then, of course, the great team at the USL has been tremendous to work with from the get-go.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
In front, header, score! What a goal! Goal to the 901! He puts it in! Colorado Springs has its lead! Goal! It's another for Colorado Springs!
USL League One. Go to that link right there to see if you could win some gear and be honored by the USL. Fourth time's the charm, maybe. Union Omaha, Forward Madison. They each have a win. They have a draw. Can they break the tie in the fourth matchup coming this weekend? Player of the week ×2, Robbie Cristo. A brace, 1 week, a brace, the next week, and a brace of players of the week, as he is joined by a number of talented players that continue to score in this league. Marco Micheletto doing some tremendous things for South Georgia. Jake Rosansky, the Maryland product, does so much in the midfield for New England. So tough to pick that every single week. Whoever does it, give them a pay raise. Look at the goal leaders here. Marius Loma still setting the pace. Remember, this is entering today. Terzaghi on 9, McLaughlin on 8 coming in. Hurst and Micheletto there. And Micheletto, as we saw in the Team of the Week, he is rapidly ascending up that chart. And the assist leaders for so long, it was just Acosta and Kamara. Now Rosansky, we also saw in the Team of the Week, and Connor Doyle joining the fold. This is going to be a very close, fun race to watch down the stretch of the season. And another close, fun race to watch throughout the history of League One has been the back and forth between Greenville and Tormenta, the first ever game in League One history, the best rivalry arguably in the league, the fourth time they're meeting this year. First one went Greenville's way, 1-0. Second one, Tormenta's way, 3-1. And the third one, Greenville, a 2-0 lead at the half. They lost it 3-2 on their home turf. What will we see in the fourth one? We will find out this weekend, and it's a loaded schedule coming up here in Week 18 of USL League One. This is the one that I have circled the most, the rivalry between these two teams. But Omaha and Madison again meeting for the fourth time. Tucson and North Texas looking to get north of the playoff line. And North Carolina, I mentioned it earlier, don't sleep on them. They're getting closer to the pack, and they're facing a pack of wolves of Chattanooga sitting in second place here in League One. Back with half number 2 between Toronto and Richmond in just a moment. A wacky start to the first half. We end it 1-1 as the game slowed down a bit for the last quarter hour or so. Joe Malfa here with you on ESPN Plus. Darren Sawatsky's squad on the road looking to earn at least 1 point and get back above the playoff line. They're in good shape to do so right now, but they'll have to start turning things a bit more in their favor. Toronto controlled the better part of that first half, nearly 80% of the possession. Stats coming up in a moment, but first the highlights. Jaden Nelson back into the fold. He's only played 5 games this season so far for Toronto, spending a lot of time with the MLS squad, and he has made a difference already. The shot from Campbell was knotted away by Monticelli. He made one good play in front of the goal, stopping that one from getting through to Fitzgerald. He had one forgettable moment in front of the goal. Comes right here on the cross from Thompson. Monticelli tries to clear, ends up in the roof of his own net. That puts Toronto up a goal, and it's a team that has struggled to score, shut out in 3 of the last 4 games. They had that one explosion against North Carolina when they scored 4 goals in the middle of that stretch. But outside of that, it's been very tough to get goals for Toronto. They give one up here. Vinyals draws the foul, takes the penalty himself, makes the penalty himself, and makes it 1-1. The best opportunity after this in the remainder of the half also belonged to Neil Vinyals. A header from right in front, top of the 6-yard box, and he was absolutely robbed by Caleb Patterson-Sewell. Richmond Kickers, their attack has just been counterattacks. They've sat back, they picked their moments. This is a moment they picked, and here's that chance I was alluding to. Patterson-Sewell, week in, week out, in this rotation with Vikla. Whenever he's out there, he makes big stops just like this. And he's entering the fray for the Golden Glove race as well, now that he qualifies on Star. 75% of the possession Toronto's way, 5 shots. None on target, they have the goal on the own goal. Richmond, chances are still there, even though they don't have the ball that much. They're making the most of the time they do have on it with that counterattack. Curious to see how half number 2 unfolds. Mike Munoz, his squad, trying to push for a goal. It's been a struggle for them. They had the draw last week, 0-0, when they were up a man for 50 minutes. On the flip side, Darren Sawatsky, you know history tells you he's not going to hunker down and just be content with a point. He's going to want to go for this. So at what point does he pick his moment and try to open things up a little bit? We'll find out. Toronto in the home reds from right to left. Richmond in the all-black defends the left side. Scott Bowman, we await his whistle in the light blue, the official for today. And we're underway in half number 2. If either of these teams can come up with 3 points, it would be massive in a very crowded table. A point each will do in terms of getting above the playoff line at day's end. Toronto would be 5th, Richmond would be 6th, but doesn't really start to untangle that big ball of yarn we have in the middle of the standings. We've seen a large uptick in draws lately here in this league. And because of that, nobody has really gained any separation anywhere on the table. Even at the top of the table, Omaha and Chattanooga have squandered opportunities to really pull away from the pack because of all the draws they've had. Omaha 6 ties, Chattanooga 7 ties. Greenville and Toronto also each have 6 ties. Madison has 7 ties. Toronto already an early indication. They're going to settle right back into the way we saw them in the first half. And we saw them like this all of last week, too, against Greenville. Just the goal never came. Down the wing, Thompson steps in to the box. Thompson still with it on his left foot. Sliding tackle made by Vinyals, backtracking. Petrasso lofts it back in. Fitzgerald is there. Thompson got through a couple of would-be defenders, but the striker who has the goal for Richmond is the one who backtracked at the last moment. Vinyals in to knock it away right there.
Get ready, Bulldog.
Quarters there down the wing. Cole thought it was last off of a red jersey. Frantically pleading his case with the assistant referee. Nelson. Slow, then quick to the end line. Nelson dispossessed. Corner coming.
I was pissing. We didn't win many games, so I don't know how that was.
comes across to take it. Wind actually for the moment died down. We've seen those flags whipping the whole time. At a standstill now, he sends it in. Long chase. Campbell lets it out. Takes the throw. Nelson sends the ball in. Flicked onto the back post. Defensive header there. And Franklin will once again take from the corner. This one driven in low. For as many corners that Toronto had last week and so far today, they haven't really done much with them. Deliveries haven't been the best. The wind certainly a factor. A lot of missed opportunities that won't make Mike Munoz happy. Petrasso on the ground, cut out by Falk. Thompson dances through again, chips it. No red jerseys there.
Coach, Michael. Jay, come on. Let's go. Hey, come on, Dante. Stand your feet. Can we skip? Early. Get on your toes. You don't have to win the ball.
Nelson.
Good, guys. Good. Keep working. Move it.
Carlini turned away by 4 black jerseys. Thompson again. Thompson to the end line. Cuts the ball across, took a touch before it got to Carlini. So much service from Toronto, but nobody on the receiving end. Richmond, so many numbers in the box. It's going to be easy to break down this Richmond team. They took an own goal on a poor clearance attempt to break him down the first time. Yates chips it. He's taken down, and it's cleared.
Dante, 21 right. You want it? I don't want it. Here you go. Come on. You ready to catch it? Come on. Sorry, man.
Darren Sawatsky. Maybe he should stick to throwing out first pitches. That's not a great first touch there. Thompson through the lane. And he draws a foul. Yellow card issued to Falk. Thompson has been dangerous every time he's touched the ball in this second half. Only problem has been the numbers game. Every time he gets through, instead of finding a red jersey, there's 3 or 4 kickers, defenders converging on him. Petrasso and Yates. Petrasso chips it. 2 players duck and leave it be, and Campbell is offside. Kurich and Politz both ducked under it, and Campbell picks up a yellow for time wasting. Both players were there, Politz, Kurich, as they almost collide with each other. They pull out of the header in the end. Nobody gets it.
Easy guys, easy. 3rd minute. Dante Campbell.
Can hear from the field mics. Player down. Nathan Awney saying it's just a win, just a win. That's a good sign, just a win knocked out of him, nothing serious. Another look at it. Just the way the shoulder went into the back from Campbell, who has to be careful. He just picked up that yellow on the other end for time wasting.
Tony, you divide. Gerald, stay here. You divide. Go, good line, good line. Watch the run out.
Vinyals swings the ball in at Knuckles. Falk and Bolduc try to win it. Nelson comes away with it. Heavy touch, gives it away. Possession in this second half somehow dwarfing the number that Toronto put up in the first half. 92% of the possession through 10 minutes. It just goes back to the finishing. That's what Mike Munoz harps on. He's been happy with the way they play within their game model, the way they've had the possession, but just haven't had the reliable finishes on the other end of it. Awney chests it down. And that ball stays in. Shots for handball as Petrasso comes through. And it's given. Awney has taken towards the top of the formation as just a target man on those long balls. Not his natural position, but have to be creative with 5 key players missing for Richmond. He's done well. Vinyals whips it in. Header is free and wide. Jalen Chrysler shook free. One of the big center back targets. Julian Altobelli will enter the match for Stephen Yates. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern. You can also hear live action from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC, channel 157 on the radio and the Sirius XM app. Lob through Bolaños. Looking to square a ball across. Much like the issue has been for Toronto, there were no teammates on Bolaños there to receive it. These two teams are playing really well from 18-yard box to 18-yard box in the build-up. Once they get there, not able to find any link-up play. Nelson trying to spark something, puts it across. Fitzgerald is there. Continuity, not easy to come by at times for some of the players on Toronto, just with the verticality and the MLS squad. But anytime that Nelson has played in League One, he's provided a spark for his team, and he's done it late a couple of times. Awney with a very heavy tackle. Bowman beckons Awney over. card is yellow. That leaves Oni and Falk in the book for Richmond. Carlini and Campbell, who got fouled there, in the book for Toronto.
Yellow card issued in the 59th minute for Richmond, number 24, Nathan Allen.
Vinyals has some space. The counter is where they've been dangerous. Darren Sawatsky said that the read was there on Toronto. The faces may change, but they have an idea of their tendencies and how to break them down. Part of that comes on the counter, allowing Toronto to play their game with the possession. And the counter has been where Richmond has looked dangerous. Flag went up for offside in that equation there. Hour gone, half hour to go here at BMO Training Ground. Toronto 5-6-5, Richmond 5-5-5. A win for either team sets them apart above that playoff line. A draw, and they both end the day above the playoff line in 5th and 6th, respectively, for Toronto and Richmond. 5 key players missing for Richmond. Did not make the trip. A skeleton crew for the Kickers. Still find themselves 1-1 with a half an hour to go. Vinyal's penalty tied it up. He drew the foul. He converted the kick. Monticelli just on an own goal where there's not much you can do about it except walk the other way and try to put it in the back of your mind. Went for the clearance, ended up in his own net. Nelson just misses it. And Sawatsky preparing a sub. Cameron Vickers has ditched the warm up top. Getting some final instructions from the assistant coaches. The point that I was mentioning earlier with the uptick in draws, there's a stat for it. 6 of the last 10 matches in this league have ended in a draw. Might be on our way to 7 out of 11. And all those draws have done is congest the standings. Take that a step further, it's 8 out of the last 14. You go to the league website and you look at the standings tab. They show each team's last 5 games with either a red square for a loss, a green square for a win, or a gray one for a draw. There's a lot of gray on that board. Over the top, and Fitzgerald makes the grab. Flag went up for offside, but advantage played. Just with the keeper rollout. You look around the league, Richmond did it themselves with a win last week. New England's done it with 2 wins in a row. You string a couple of results together, you start climbing very quickly in this crowded table. Even North Carolina. North Carolina has been stuck in the single digits for so long. They won back-to-back games, and all of a sudden, they're 4 points away from the pack. From 4th place down to 11th place, separated by just 6 points. North Carolina, for as much as they struggled early on, started to re-enter the conversation just a little bit. Wise substitution here from Sawatsky. Oni has seen himself involved in a couple of fouls and collisions and just picked up the yellow card. Carlini. It's more of the same from Toronto. All these attempts to spring someone forward, but just lacking miscommunication in that attacking third. Mike Munoz hasn't really been able to put his finger on exactly what the issue is. Everything is so good up until that final third. And they get the crosses in. They're able to still link up passes in the attacking third. It's just they can't find the seams in the defense.
Stay with the back line. Stay with the back line. Touch it now. Here's the time. Stay there. No matter what, stay. Forward.
Altabelli looks over his shoulder, has some space. Gets past Falk. Chipped in over Nelson's head, and again, everything's so good up until that last pass.
Come on! Trying to get us up! Muncie, get us up! Cam! Good! Tony! High! Forward! Hey, you and Kobe wide now. You and Kobe wide. Kobe, wide now. Wide. Take a breather. I gotta go here. Take your time. Drive up. Keep working. You gotta drive, Cody. Come on.
Curich sends it wide. Petrasso. Nelson. Nelson gets past Vickers. What a move. Nelson still with it. Too much in the end. Franklin. A lot of players standing still for Toronto. Franklin takes the space, taking matters into his own hands now. Paulitz, it's through. Contact in the box, no call made. Given away by Thompson. Altabelli. Petrasso turns. Alves misplays it. Carlini through. Altabelli on his right foot. The save made by Fitzgerald. The first real chance in quite some time for Toronto. And Akira Fitzgerald denies it. Not much space there for Altabelli. Still got a good shot off. All those bodies in front. Fitzgerald still makes the play. That is just veteran goalkeeping there. Instinct of where the shot could go. Only one place. A strike from distance, and again Fitzgerald makes the stop. Fitzgerald came up big in the Tucson game. Aaron Sawatsky said they wouldn't have gotten the 3 points without him. And now he's showcasing himself again. Campbell with that strike. Dipping and knuckling till the very end. Altabelli takes the corner. Low driven ball, and it's dealt with. But back to the save that he made on Altabelli. Akira Fitzgerald, really all you can chalk that up to is experience. Knowing the way the screen was, knowing the way Altabelli was positioned, there was only one spot he could put that shot. Fitzgerald has seen that training in games time and time again. Went the right way. This one done well. That one beats Fitzgerald. Carlini again. The last 7 goals for Toronto belong to 2 players, McLaughlin and Carlini. And it's 2-1 Toronto. Brilliant build-up play. Petrasso, look at that flick. Picked out the far netting. Full stretch Fitzgerald. Nothing he can do about that one. In the 69th minute, Carlini gets his 3rd goal of the season. Will this be enough? Toronto looking for more. Altabelli. That one deflected as he tried to get it across to Nelson. Toronto hasn't lost when scoring first. McLaughlin fouled by Chrysler.
Keep working, boys. Good, Matty. In your half, Fred. In your half, Fred. Get in a half. Get in a half. One of you stay here. Hey, do it in a half.
The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community. Through the Forever Proud project, the USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud. Vignals muscled off by Thompson. Erickson Gallardo is getting ready to check in for Toronto FC. Another player who hasn't spent much time in League One, most of his time in MLS. 2 appearances, 1 start, just 61 minutes played. A really strong attacking option to bring off the bench here, just looking for some minutes. As Toronto tries to steal the deal and get a 3rd. Thompson tried to center it, but McLaughlin went to the far post. That all-important 3rd goal for Toronto, if they can get a 3rd. Teams are 23 wins, no losses, no draws when scoring 3 goals this season. Vickers chips it through, long run on the backside. It's left there, and it's put wide. Patterson Sewell missed it. And the shot put to the outside of the net by Jonathan Bolaños. Don't see many mistakes like that from Patterson Sewell. He intentionally seemed to take his hand out of the way, thinking it would go out for the goal kick. But Bolaños not fooled by it. And here is Gallardo. gives way. First ball in towards Gallardo. And he is called for the foul. Taken right back by Toronto. Now Campbell's taken down. Play on. Nelson. 3 defenders over there. Nelson comes away with it. Nelson looking for an option. Campbell.
Can you go inside? Get Luka high. This channel. Come on.
Bowman stops the play.
Make sure he's okay, of course. I care about the kid. We can stop it. Yeah, have it there. Matt, come here real fast. Hey, Scott, we're going to have a sub from Richmond. Okay? Yeah, go ahead.
Carlini, his goal, the difference right now. He's holding his head.
Hey. You have to be super locked on here defensively. Let's go. With your ball. 31. Who's coming out?
Mumby Quisela and the newly signed Ty Johnson. The 2 players entering for Richmond. Jonathan Bolaños and Victor Falk will exit. Didn't seem like Scott Bowman called a foul in that exchange, just that he stopped it for the injury, but went back and gave the foul. Quarter hour to go. Thompson, end line, centers it. Carlini couldn't direct it towards goal. He just wasn't sure what to do with it. Gallardo, second foul he's committed since he's entered. For the W, the USL recently announced the formation of the USLW League, providing increased equity and opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs from across Championship, League 1, League 2, and new expansion markets, W League is set to begin play in 2022 in more than 30 communities across the United States. Head over to USLWleague.com to learn more.
Nothing through us.
Johnson can't dig it out. Nelson takes it away. Vickers tried to sell it, but it's Toronto ball. As it stands, Toronto would move all the way up to 4th place. It'd be just 1 point behind Greenville, 2 behind Chattanooga. Although Chattanooga would have 3 games in hand, Greenville 2 games in hand. The goal for Mike Munoz, not only make the playoffs, but host a playoff game. And 4th place would be good enough for that. Still a long way to go in the season. But better to have the points in hand than have the games in hand and force those teams to chase. Thompson puts the ball across. Gerald is there.
One in the back now. Sorry. Keep working, man. Go.
Not easy for Richmond to all of a sudden turn things around here. Missing a lot of players. They've been sitting back and just trying to counter. Have to change the way they play now. Start getting some of that possession back so they can build and try to get that goal back. That ball stayed in from the corner flag. No, now the flag is raised. And it's a throw in Richmond's direction. Pavone skies it on the throw. Vickers heads it towards the middle, shoving the back. Blatant from Bulldog. Vignoles in the 25th minute on the penalty leveled things after the Monticelli own goal 9 minutes prior. And Carlini in the 69th minute put Toronto up.
Challenge! 2 minutes. Let's go. Second ball.
10 to go, plus whatever stoppage time has in store. Sun beginning to set in Toronto. Patterson Sewell made a massive stop in the 34th minute to deny Neil Vignoles. Would have put Richmond up 2-1. Gallardo shot deflected. And a corner coming for Toronto. The opportunities have been few and far between for Toronto. Some half-hearted shots towards goal. They started to pick things up, though, after the 70th minute, or going into the 70th minute, excuse me. A couple minutes prior, Fitzgerald had to make 2 big stops, but then Carlini beat him. Low-driven ball. Altabelli wins it back. Gallardo, flag pops up. Heavy tackle, Quasile. Campbell slow to get up. Patterson Sewell lofts it back into play. Out for a goal kick now for Fitzgerald.
Guys, just to confirm, how many subs?
Come on, man. Why can't we get the sub in? Why did we not get the sub in?
Yeah, no. Because
Keep working time. Work.
Rohan Goulbourne ready to check in for Toronto.
2 for 1 there. Work.
Gallardo sprays it across for Franklin. Nelson comes through with it.
Did you get TFC sub as well?
Out for a throw. Might those subs occur here? Goldborn's ready to check in. Jaden Nelson will exit.
Chris! Chris! Hey, Jim!
And welcome back, Devontae Dubose entering for Chris Cole. His first appearance of 2021. Great to see him back out there in a Richmond uniform.
Now he got it, but I didn't know. He just showed up, and that's why I asked him.
Aaron Sawatsky assembled this team last year. He envisioned Devontae Dubose and Ian Antley out there very often. Injuries have not allowed that to happen, but Dubose back now.
Johnny up front! Johnny! Up front! Go time! Johnny up! Up, Johnny!
Thompson. Down to Nelson. Turning. Nelson. Some fancy footwork. Waits for an option. That sub clearly was held. Goldborn was set to check in for Nelson. Just the one change during that interval there. Dubose checking in. Toronto doing a good job playing keep away and milking that clock. Richmond's got to step up, try to win the ball back and create something. Just 2 shots on target for Richmond. Nelson. Gallardo. Inside to McLaughlin, flicked on. Altabelli won't get there. Petrasso. Petrasso had the assist on the Carlini goal. Nelson, back to Franklin.
Come on, Matt. Come on, Matt. Go, Devontae. Go. Go. Get up. Go.
Toronto, again, just in no hurry to do anything really. Richmond has not seen a lot of the ball in this half, in this game. 75% of the possession nearly Toronto's favor. Now that sub finally happens. Goalborn in, Nelson out. He won't show up on the stat sheet, Jaden Nelson, but he showed up a lot in a lot of places. Goalborn's first involvement has Gallardo centrally. Plays it outside instead, but taken away. Well read. Goalborn commits the foul as Pavone went forward with it. Goalborn right into the game and right into the book.
We want the game time, though. We'll take the time back. We'll take the time back. Let's go. Come on,
Goalborn had to be careful there. I don't think he noticed that Bowman had the yellow card in hand, and he tried to knock the ball away. That would have been a decision to be made for Scott Bowman if he would have double yellowed him right away there. First for the foul, second for knocking the ball away. That would have been a little bit harsh, but it's been done before. Scott Bowman has heard enough from Darren Sawatsky.
Yellow card issued in the 88 minutes against team number 62, Rohan
well, there's
Goldborn.
rules for the game.
Go. 90 seconds to go of the 90 minutes, plus whatever stoppage time has in store. Pavone chips it in. Carlini comes away with it. Kept alive, but the players collide. Monticelli and Vickers. Monticelli tried to keep it in.
Yeah.
Bowman waving somebody back. Monticelli, I believe, for a yellow. Six yellows to players, one to Darren Sawatsky.
Come on, Dark, come on!
God, I got 4 minutes for added time.
Come on, Devontae!
There'll be 4 minutes of added time here at the end of this one.
Yellow card issued in the 90th minute for Richmond.
Franklin intervenes before it gets to Bolaños. Give and go down the wing. Thompson turns. Wasile chases. Thompson looking to put it away. It's blocked by Monticelli.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 4 minutes of time added to the second half.
Kurich trying to switch it over to Franklin.
Come on, guys, come on, Dark! Come on! Up, 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 up! Come on, man, come on, kid! Come on, man!
Richmond has been held without a shot on goal in the second half. 3 minutes to go now in stoppage time. You're going to have to turn that around in a hurry. They felt they turned a corner. They've taken points from 4 of their last 5 games, the Kickers. It's got them flirting with that playoff line. As it stands, they would end the day where they started the day, in 7th place. Losing out on the tiebreaker to Tormenta, who would sit above the line in 6th place. But Richmond would have a game in hand.
Go get the ball now! Ah!
Gallardo. Quisele fell down. Monticelli gets it. Goulbourne takes it back. Centers it. Opportunity there. Shouts for a corner from Campbell. It'll be a goal kick. Another look there. Monticelli just muscled off by Goulbourne. DuBose did just enough to slow down Campbell as he came through for the shot. Franklin somehow comes through that pileup. Altabelli wins it back. Cuts it in. Franklin. Opportunity to put it away. Franklin stopped by Fitzgerald. A set piece gifted here by Kurich. Dead center of the field. Not a good angle to get a cross in. The opportunity is there for Vinyals to try to chip this one into a dangerous area. Trying to come up with one last chance for Richmond. Without a shot on goal in this second half. Vinyals floats it. Monticelli heads it skyward. Waiting for it to come down. Monticelli chests it down. Vickers puts the ball in. Campbell dispatches of it. And it's just Gallardo One-on-one with the keeper, just like in a training session. Gallardo, and he put it wide. From the MLS squad, here to get some minutes. Had a chance at a goal. In all the way alone from 60 yards out. And that's the final whistle. Toronto takes the 3 points, moves up to 4th place, and defends their home turf. Their first win here since September 27th of 2019. Frustrating day for Richmond. Players missing. They fought hard. They tied it in the first half after going down. And they'll end the day again where they started it, in 7th place based on the tiebreaker, but right there at the playoff line, knocking on the door. They've been in great form lately, taking points from 4 of the last 5, but not today on this late afternoon, early evening game at BMO Training Ground. The young Reds get the 3 points. We'll be back in a moment to wrap this one up. Back here at BMO Training Ground, the 2 goalkeepers that also double as goalkeeper coaches for their teams and be sharing some notes after the game. Fitzgerald's side loses 2-1 to Patterson Sewell's side. Toronto gets the 3 points over Richmond. We apologize due to some technical difficulties. We do not have full-time highlights for you. You could get those at USLLeague1.com. We do have full-time stats, and they heavily favor Toronto at the end of this one. The shots went their way. Shots on target, possession, everything went Toronto's way. It was one-way traffic. Hat tip to Richmond for hanging around the way they did, bending but not breaking defensively for the longest time. Took great build-up play and an even better shot by Carlini to beat Fitzgerald and give Toronto the 3 points. We take a look at the standings now in USL League One. I mentioned that any team who picks up 3 points anywhere along the line, they're going to do some climbing just because of all the draws we've seen. Things have been condensed. Toronto gets the win. Toronto up to 4th. They are 1 point behind Greenville, 2 behind Chattanooga. Games in hand will sort themselves out. Better to have the points in hand. Toronto right now has 23 of them. For all of our crew who makes this broadcast possible, I'm Joe Malva signing off from Toronto, Ontario. Toronto FC 2, Richmond Kickers 1. Have a good night and come back for a loaded Saturday here in USL League 1 on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.